Anyone over the age of 20 will have witnessed a transformation in society's attitude to resources and waste, from the growth of renewable energy through the rise of green transport to what we do today with the stuff we no longer want. We are all steadily learning to reduce, reuse and recycle. But what of the next generation? What steps are we taking to educate the young to live more sustainable lifestyles? Close to the beach, Southport Eco Centre is dedicated to educating the public about sustainable living. Along with regular open days and a range of web resources, the centre runs a vibrant schools programme.
My name's Darren Lloyd. I'm one of the resident teachers at the Southport Eco Centre. A big part of my job is to educate children from all over the North West region on a wide variety of eco issues. The Eco Centre was first built in 2004. It was sold as the gateway to Southport because we have the park and ride on site. We have just under 500,000 people passing through the building every year. That's not including the school visits, that's just the general public. So there was the opportunity in the public area to raise awareness of some of the issues.
We were turning handles which generated electricity. We learnt that energy efficient bulbs are much easier and faster to light up, and they use much less energy than a traditional bulb.
Yeah, as part of our waste minimisation strategy and our topic here at the centre, part of today was to take the children out to understand the scale of the problem.
Basically, we brought a group of young people down to the river estuary, and it was to look at kind of recycling really and cleaning up, you know, natural beauty spots really. And when we've gone down, there was an awful lot of glass being left, and lots of it's very sharp, very dangerous.
Well, today we've been actually cleaning the beach, so we found like glass and we separate it into like different boxes, so it becomes more eco-friendly. We're going to go to school and we're going to go and weigh it, and then we're going to see how much of each pile we actually picked up.
I think for us at Birkdale High School, we're very keen for our young people to be educated about recycling and to be really active members of society.
Yeah, because if you don't recycle, I mean, things like getting thrown in the ocean or something, like it'll kill fish and all. And then it'll end up on the beach, and then it's dangerous for other people.
We're so thrilled that our young people want to give up their time and want to be involved in these kind of projects. And, you know, they're doing something for someone else. It's not about what are they going to get from it. It's about making an area, you know, really attractive and really clean, and getting rid of dangerous elements like glass and, you know, syringes, things like that.
We often use the phrase here, pest to power, and children are a fantastic force. So we do feel through the school visits we can potentially tap into areas in the community and families that may be not as responsive initially, but we find if that passion and that pest to power is coming from the children, we can get them engaged.
The Gill Moss Materials Recovery Facility uses state-of-the-art industrial processes to separate and sort the recyclable materials we put in our household bins. The MRF also houses the Discovery Centre, which promotes education about waste.
My name is Emma Hall and I am a Year 1 teacher at Egremont Primary School. So I've brought 5 and 6-year-olds with me today. We've been doing a topic on our beautiful world and how we're going to help our world to be a better place. We've come to see what happens when we recycle our rubbish, because we've had a look in our local area to see that actually people aren't looking after our local area and what we can do to help. So we've done lots of litter picking and recycling in school. We wanted to come and have some first-hand experience to see where our recycling goes afterwards.
So, today we're going to talk about rubbish. And there's a big pile of rubbish there on the screen, and I've got a big bag of rubbish there on the stage. Well done.
My name's Kirsty Martin. I'm the Waste Awareness Officer for Veolia here on Merseyside and Halton. We'll touch on topics like landfill sites. So this morning with the children, we've got them thinking about what it's like if they were to live next door to a landfill site, and the impact that would have on the families that actually do live next to landfill sites in England. Moving on from that, we think about some of the other options that we can do with our rubbish. So with the children this morning, because they were so young, we just looked at recycling and the items that go in their grey recycling bin for Wirral. So we talk about the Magic 6, the paper, the cardboard, the glass bottles and jars, food cans, drink cans and plastic bottles, because there's the target materials that we want. And this morning we've seen them sort through the rubbish to work out how long things take to decompose, rot away if they were to throw them in a landfill site. And then we've worked through a pile of rubbish to work out what could be recycled against what couldn't.
The first-hand experience, to be able to see that, you know, it's not just one person's responsibility, it actually affects everything in our world. The learning opportunities to be able to see sorting out rubbish in their own bins, I just think it's a brilliant experience and a brilliant place to bring children to learn more about recycling.
The National Wildflower Centre is based in Corte Park, close to the border between Knowsley and Liverpool. Here, in one of the outbuildings, is a prime example of the growing reuse economy.
Yeah, my name's Barry, I'm one of the directors in Merseyside. My role's to oversee the maintenance of all the bicycles that are in the shed here. We have a number of recycled bicycles ready to be refurbished and sold back to the public. So keep stripping the bike, take everything off.
Okay.
We'll get right back to the bare frame, and then what we'll do is we'll build it all back up again, part by part. We managed to obtain funding to do a recycle course. These guys are stripping these bikes down, and I will give them tuition on what to do, how to fix them, how to rebuild them. They will be fully stripped to the bare bones and then built back up. They learn the skills, and what Merseyside gets is recycled bikes ready for sale.
Well, basically with the recycling, because I've got so much enjoyment and I've learnt a lot myself from the actual maintenance courses that have been run. In a way, it's just our way of giving something back as well, sort of helping to do up the bikes, and then so that they're fit to sell, you know, for sale later.
So cycling in itself, it ticks so many boxes. Health-wise, it's excellent for you. It's low impact, it doesn't exhaust you out, it doesn't damage your joints. It's good for your health, it reduces carbon and all those sorts of things, which is good. And we're becoming a bigger cycling nation.
Well, I came today because about 2 months ago, came to the Wildflower Centre and they have a bike sale. We were looking at a second-hand bike for my daughter because I felt that was a waste to buy a brand new bike when they grow so fast, and you need bikes like every year at least, or sometimes less. So it's a waste to buy brand new bikes. Because if people can afford as well to buy a bike at a cheaper price, everybody's gonna have a bike and have the opportunity to go. Oh yeah, definitely it's gonna be a good way to keep people fit, yes.
There's always value in any bicycle, regardless of the condition that it's in. Bring the bike to us, leave it with us, we'll take any parts off it that we need. If it is beyond repair, it will get weighed in. If it's not beyond repair, then, you know, we will put it to good use.
Some people are still confused about what materials can go into our household recycling bins. The Discovery Centre, based at the Gilmoss Materials Recovery Facility, has a mission to get the right message across at an early age.
Hands up if you've got a grey wheelie bin outside of your house. We're going to work out together what goes in our grey wheelie bin. We've got a big pile of rubbish there. And we're all going to get a chance to have a look at our rubbish and work out which wheelie bin it needs to go in. Whether or not we can recycle it in our grey wheelie bin, or it has to go to the dirty, smelly landfill site in our green bin. So in our grey bin, I've called her Mrs. Grey bin, the first thing that can go in is cardboard boxes. The second thing to go in our bin is anything made of paper. The next thing to go in are all our cans. Our drink cans, anything that we drink fizzy pop out of, all of our plastic bottles, any shape, size or colour. And then finally, our glass bottles and jars, they can go in our grey bin.
One of the examples we did have from a school last year was about a child saying, I want to go home and tell my mum about the Magic 6. I want to sort through the wheelie bin myself to make sure we have got the right things in there. So I think, you know, it does work and the messages do get taken back home again, yeah.
After the break, a top local chef shows us how to transform a leftover Sunday lunch. And we learn more about the central role of Merseyside Recycling and Waste Authority in the reduction of waste in the Liverpool City region. Merseyside Recycling and Waste Authority has been supporting the national Love Food, Hate Waste campaign, which aims to reduce food waste at home. The campaign has enlisted expert chefs to teach people how to make the most of leftovers.
My name's Adam Franklin from Yacht Club Catering, and I've been asked to come to the Academy restaurant at the City Liverpool College to help one of the students cook a really nice dish from yesterday's leftovers. We've got some ingredients here, typical Monday morning ingredients, leftovers, and what we're trying to do today is make a nice meal using the leftovers that encourages people to not throw their food away. So as long as it's gone into the fridge, on the Sunday, we can use all of these products again. So we've got some traditional Sunday lunch veg, we've got some potatoes, and we've also got a chicken. So we'll do breadcrumb chicken, and then we'll do a potato and vegetable casserole. We've got a shallot there, and maybe add a bit of curry powder to that just to spice it up a bit. How's that sound?
That sounds very good.
Great, let's crack on.
Yeah.
Some of the curry powder in. Be quite generous with the curry powder. And then some of the vegetables, some of the carrots, delve down in the bottom. And already it's completely different from its first life as a Sunday lunch. So we'll let that slowly cook on the side there, keep turning it, keep getting a little bit more colour on there, and let's go and have a look at what we're going to do with this chicken. We've now got this chicken, so what we're going to look to do is pull off some of the bigger pieces of meat, and then we'll dip it in seasoned flour, and then I'll drop it in the egg, and if you want to panko breadcrumb them, just keeping them as one whole piece. This could alternatively be a batter as well, maybe a little bit of spicy batter, but it's good with the nice breadcrumbs, nice and crunchy. If you're throwing it away anyway, then why not play with it? Get in the kitchen, you know, fry some stuff up, mix stuff together, you know, try and turn things into a pie or a soup, but just give it a go. And if you save 10% of the food that you were going to be throwing away. It's going to help you in your pocket. Start dropping them. Now this is already cooked chicken, so all we're trying to do is warm the chicken up in the middle and just get a nice crispy coating on it. They're literally going to take 30 or 40 seconds, and when they come out, that heat will carry on going through to the centre of that chicken for another 30-40 seconds, so it'll just be nice and warm. We don't want it to dry out as well. Okay, great, that's the chicken done. Let's go back round and plate it all up. Start putting some of that chicken on, that'll be perfect. Okay, perfect, so we've got our casserole, we've got our chicken, and then store cupboard item, a little bit of sweet chilli sauce. Most people have got that these days. The sweetness with the shallots, a little bit of a kick to go with that curry flavouring, and we'll just do a nice restaurant style drizzle. And there we have crispy chicken on a casserole, our potatoes and veg with curry, and a little bit of chilli sauce. Completely different than yesterday's roast dinner, I'm sure you'd agree.
The design of the Gilmoss Materials Recovery Facility deliberately included a safe viewing corridor to observe the inner workings of the plant. For many who come to the Discovery Centre, this provides the highlight of their visit.
I think the fact that you couldn't get the children away from the windows shows you that actually their learning experience has been just enhanced so much that they've been able to see it firsthand. A lot of them said, oh, I didn't know that happened, and I didn't realise that it then went somewhere to make new things. And we've been talking a lot about what the next process is now, and so when we get back to school we'll build on all of that learning again. So I've just had a lot of wows and oohs and wow, look at that. So we've been really, really impressed, really have.
The big part of the visit here is going and having a look at our materials recovery facility through our walkway. So we go through the doors and we can have a look straight down onto the materials recovery machines that sort and separate out all the materials that come in the recycle bins. So the children really get a good feel for what happens with their recycling from home. And we'll take children here as young as 3 all the way up through the school programme. Colleges, universities and even adult groups can come in here because everybody's got different questions that they want answered. So it's a great way of capturing everybody throughout their life. And that's the great thing about our recycling discovery centres, because we do a lot of learning through play and activities. It's amazing how much information they take on board. The group that we've had in this morning, they'll be going back and they'll be telling their mums and dads what they've learnt today. So those messages are going back into the homes.
The children, I actually brought a class last year with me and they loved it, being able to see the machines and what happens and where our rubbish goes. It's very much a cycle, I would say, in the Discovery Centre, that you can see where it starts off, what happens next and then where it goes to later on. So the hands-on experience for the children is just invaluable for their learning.
Merseyside Recycling and Waste Authority has responsibility for the treatment and disposal of waste in the Liverpool City region, on behalf of the local authorities in the area. This work includes disposing of the content of bin collections, providing household waste recycling centres around the region, as well as promoting waste prevention, reuse and recycling at a grassroots level.
My name's Carl Beer. I'm the Chief Executive of the Recycling and Waste Authority on Merseyside. So I think we've seen a really big transformation on Merseyside. You know, if you compare to what Merseyside was like 10 years ago in recycling, but I think we're on the cusp of another transformation. You know, in the past we perhaps thought we were doing well if we just recycled. But actually there's a couple of things you can do before recycling which are even better for the environment. So they're the waste prevention type activities and the reuse activities. far more sustainable to try and pass something on, clothes or furniture or white goods, to other people to use than it is to simply shred them up or into metal and remelt that metal or remelt the glass or whatever it might be. If the Liverpool City region can retain more value from the stuff that is circulating in the economy, then it can retain jobs. It can even create jobs in the reuse economy.
Merseyside Recycling and Waste Authority has been supporting a range of community initiatives, finding innovative ways to reuse and recycle where people live.
We think these community level, ground up level projects are fantastic value for money. They are teaching people how to reduce the amount of waste that they create, what to do with the waste that they create, and they're often putting it back into things they can do within their own house. They can reuse some stuff, or they can give it to neighbours or charities. So we see the community level projects as the future. The idea of big authority services and the council providing everything for communities, I'm afraid, you know, the money isn't there for councils to do this in the same way anymore, and communities are actually better placed sometimes to sort their own community out and help their own community. And I think Liverpool City Region's got a fantastic track record of community-led projects.
As community projects help change attitudes to reuse and recycling, what does this mean for households in the Liverpool City region?
Our promotional strapline is Merseyside, a place where nothing is wasted. And that's true whether you're a business or a household or an individual. If you think about it, waste shouldn't exist. It's valuable material and somebody somewhere will be very grateful to receive it. And I think if you think that way about this stuff that we throw out, then you will transform the way your household deals with it. You know, if we can end up where a household doesn't really throw anything in the residual bin, it's all reused or recycled.
We are all on a journey in how we think about waste. Attitudes have clearly changed, but there is still much more to do in order to rebalance our relationship with the stuff we no longer require. It will be the young who will carry on this transformation. Armed with the knowledge and skills we are passing on today, they will need to guide us to a more sustainable future.